Hello and welcome to day 51 of 8 weeks with Julia Kate. At the moment I am cooking, so if I keep looking down, that's what I'm doing. So since I'm cooking, I will do a tip about food for day 51. So my day 51 tip is food related, and I just wanted to say about adding fruit into your food for a bit of sweetness. So if you're trying to get sugar, or you're just wanting to have a little bit of sweetness in a dessert or a breakfast, for example, then try to add something like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, any sort of those berries, because they are, for example, compared to a banana, about half the amount of calories and half the amount of fructose, hence sugar. So if you're going for weight loss, then just go for those berries instead of the other fruits like banana and kiwi, pineapple, mangoes. They're all quite high, or at least double in the sugar, fructose, and in calories. Also about getting some sneaky veg into your meals. So for example, I made brownies on the weekend. I have some left here. So I made brownies and I made them with beetroot, and you can also do sweet potato ones, but it's a way of sneaking in one of your veggies for the day. So that's my brownies. They're very yummy. So they're dark chocolate as well, but there's 250 grams of beetroot in there. So I will be putting up the recipe very soon on my website. I just need to write it up. So that's just my tip for day 51, is about if you need a little sweetness in your food, add berries instead of other higher in sugar or just sugar things like chocolate and stuff. Head for the berries in some yogurt or something like that, Greek yogurt. And if you're going to do a dessert, try an alternative dessert which has vegetables in. There's plenty out there. So give them a go. I know they sound scary at first. Like, I've got on my website an avocado mousse chocolate, and that's quite yummy. It might be a bit scary for if your taste buds aren't ready for it, but give it a go, and you never know, you might surprise yourself. I surprised my husband with it. He quite enjoyed it. So give it a go. So that is my tip for 51. So I'm making my little scrambled egg at the moment. I didn't have an egg white omelette this morning when we went out for breakfast. I tried a different little make your own brekkie. So it was a couple poached eggs on the gluten-free toast, some mushrooms and some spinach. That was it, yeah. And then I had tea with barely any milk, but not many teas. It was only a few cups this morning. And then I had an apple and Greek yogurt for morning tea. I did have my turkey Saint-Chambow for lunch. However, I came home from uni and I went to eat it, but then I decided to have it for dinner. So I am actually just making myself for lunch, a very late lunch, some granary toast there. I'm going to put just an egg white on that. I'm going to put the yolk into my scrambled egg here, and I'm just going to put the egg white on that. I have a little egg white sandwich and some Himalayan salt and pepper and maybe some chili flakes, and that's enough. It makes that yummy. So that's going to be my very late lunch, which means I will not eat this that I'm actually cooking, which was for afternoon tea, but there's plenty there, so it's going to last me for the next 3 days, so that's handy. And then I've got the Saint-Chambow turkey meat in that one tonight, so that's us sorted for food today. Exercise wise, so I did wake up this morning, but my neck was really quite sore still, so much better compared to yesterday, but like I can turn that much, but I can't really do much with it. I've got to be quite careful, but it is so much better than yesterday, so I assume it'll be so much better tomorrow, ready for me to do some exercise. So I'm not sure what I will do tomorrow. I think I'm quite tight for time in the morning. I am on Thursday as well, because I have to go out to a hospital, catch the train there, and do a manual handling training day. So I have to get out there by 9, so that'll keep me busy. So it might be a quick morning session there, and tomorrow as well. So we'll just see how I go. It also depends how good a sleep I get. On Sunday, when I woke up at 6:50 in the morning, I didn't actually say this, but I woke up at 6:50 and couldn't sleep, so I ended up getting up and cleaning the kitchen and stuff that day. It turns out that when I got up, I looked at my watch and it was an hour out from what my phone said. I had just charged my Garmin Vivo Smart, so I thought it was just malfunctioning in that way, because sometimes it does do that and you just have to sync it. But apparently my husband's did the same thing, but he didn't tell me and I didn't tell him, so we never thought anything of it. Come today, which is Tuesday, it's been mentioned to us that it was daylight savings on Sunday, so we actually gained an hour, and that's why we woke up earlier and we were quite unsettled. So yeah, we didn't notice, but it's happened. We suddenly wondered why it's a bit sort of colder. I know that doesn't make a difference on time, but it's getting colder earlier, and it's getting quite dark. Like I did the photo yesterday on my story about how dark it was at 4:30, so that's why. That explains a lot. It's unlike in Australia, for those who don't know, where when our daylight savings happens, it keeps the times quite regular, and it's getting dark between 7 and 8 p.m, and the daylight savings tweaks the time to make sure that it stays that way. It's none of this rubbish where it moves between 3:50 p.m. and 10 p.m. at night. So it's quite new to us. I know we were here last year, but something when you're used to the other way for your whole life, we're not going to get used to it too quickly here. The dark days, the coldness, not when you've been used to the other way for over 30 years. So I'm just going to finish this. I've actually just remembered to do quinoa for once. Hopefully you can see that. No, I'm not even showing it. So that's my quinoa, because I always forget, but I've actually remembered to do some. So my toast is almost ready, so I'm going to go do that. We've actually just had a meeting about extending our lease here. So I did start this omelette at about 2:30, and it's now 4 o'clock. So it's a scrambled egg. Sorry, it shouldn't take whatever that is, 1.5 hours. So I've just been waffling in and out of the kitchen and being a bit useless, but it will be made, and it does explain why I've missed lunch. So lunch didn't happen because I've just been classic Julia, wafting around the house in the little days, swanning in and out of other people's conversations, and being semi-useless. So that is my day of being semi-useless. Trying to think if there's anything else to tell you. I did want to mention, so you know how I told you about bad skin from being sick, and I think it was because of all the medication I was on. I actually don't think it is. I think I've worked out that it's actually, so I when I went to America last year, I started getting a little bit of contact dermatitis, which is just, it can be from almost nothing. It just comes on from nothing, and then it suddenly can disappear one day, and you just use cream on it. But basically just your skin comes up in little bumps and goes red. So I got that from nothing, and and that was just like here on my nose. But I think the other day when I was sick and I did those steam inhalations, I did 2 of them with Olbas oil in, and I also put some Vicks vapor rub stuff in as well, which was recommended to me. So I think I actually have gotten contact dermatitis over my face from that. I think that's what it is. I don't think it's bad skin from anything to do with what I've ingested. I think it's just from having that, because I actually had to look back on my lives and at photos that I took on the stories for when I was doing the inhalation, and immediately the next morning I had quite bad skin. It wasn't a gradual thing, and I didn't actually notice until it was bad. I just thought it had come on. So we actually think that's what it's from. So I'm using my cream on it to see what happens. So I should be having a result. It should be fixing it, if that's what it is, by the time that I finish this. So I will let you know, just for those who have similar things like skin conditions. It's basically a type of allergy. So I'll let you know how that goes, because it is quite interesting to see that it isn't medication, and that it was totally unrelated, I guess. Unrelated, yeah. So it was related to my sickness, but not to the medication I was taking. So So, and if that's the case, to actually be careful if you do get contact dermatitis of what you do with things like that. I didn't think anything of it at the time. It's just the normal thing people do. So I didn't. But that's what it's resulted in, and I don't know which oil it was or whether it was both. So it's interesting, and next time I'm sick, I might actually trial it again, but knowing that, see what happens, and see whether it was one or the other. It's just one of those things where you need to test it and see what works for you, and try to eliminate things that don't work for you. So I just thought I'd fill you in. That may have been boring for some people who don't care about my skin, but that's what it is. It's 8 weeks of me, so you must endure it. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Only 5 days to go, so see you for... or if I cover up the screen, I won't see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, still cooking, still going. I was just watching over my live to make sure that it recorded properly, and I heard that I said a little faux pas of that kiwis are high in sugar. They're not. They're quite good as well. So they're down there with berries. So if you want to actually have something that isn't berries but like an actual substantial fruit, kiwi fruits are okay. They're not that high in fructose and calories. So I just wanted to jump on and correct that there, so that I didn't confuse people if you've heard anything differently. So berries and kiwi fruit, go for it. Bye.